Hello mga friendies! Welcome to another episode of Cheysanity! Yes! Today we will go to Canal tours in Amsterdam. Let's go! So katapat lang ng Rijksmuseum yung Canal tours kung saan tayo magbubook. So it's 3 o'clock and it's 15 degrees. Ang lamig. It's so cold eh. We'll go here. Tara na! Oy, sakto, 3:30 yung start, di ba? O, 30 minutes na lang hihintayin natin. Tapos, dyan siya magsa-start. Ayan. So, dyan siya. Okay. So, 30 minutes na lang naman. Hintayin na natin dito. Kasi, ayun o, doon nag-start. Ayun o, may mga lumalabas na. So, feeling ko, ayan na yung boat natin. Babe, I think that's our boat already, oh. May mga lumalabas na. Ang ticket natin is 950 ang isa. So 39 euro. That's 2,316. Dalawa na kami doon. Ngayon, papasok na tayo. Hey. Hi. Thank you. Hello. Ayan na. Go inside. Thank you, babe. Your bag is open. Yeah, that's fine. Here? Yeah, please. So yung audio guide yun, sa phone, bring your own device. I-scan lang yan. Okay, connect na tayo.
Welcome to our beautiful city of Amsterdam, and welcome aboard this unique canal cruise.
To make this journey as safe and pleasant as possible, please follow these rules and please keep your arms and head inside the boat at all times. Some of the bridges are very low.
There are two at the front of the boat, one to the left and one to the right, and another through the hatch door in the roof. This boat is equipped with life-saving equipment.
What better way to experience this compact and very international city than from the unique perspective of its waterways? There certainly are a lot of them. This city has over 100 kilometers of canal. Amsterdam is known for being friendly, open-minded, and progressive. The Dutch work hard to stand out from their neighbors while also embracing them. Most Dutch know at least 2 languages, often more.
Until the 18th century, house numbers didn't exist in Amsterdam. Instead, people relied on gable stones. These carved and sometimes colorfully painted stones were set into a house's facade, often above the door. Pictures made reference to the occupant's religion, profession, or their family crest. For example, a butcher might have a picture of a lamb, a dentist might have a tooth, a miller a windmill.
As we ride along the canal, keep an eye out for gable stones. There are more than 650 throughout the city. As you find them, you can challenge yourself by guessing what they might mean.
Wealthiest citizens, shipbuilders, merchants, investors, and politicians built elegant mansions on the Herengracht. The Keizersgracht was solidly middle class, while the Prinsengracht had a more industrial atmosphere.
going into one of these sumptuous homes. On the first floor, an elegant entrance hall with marble floors, high ceilings, and chandeliers. Mirrors were strategically positioned to create an illusion of even more space. And single-lot houses would often have a fake door on the side of the entryway to make them appear bigger than they were.
Rooms were richly decorated with painted wallpaper, oil paintings, fine sculptures, and exotics such as Turkish rugs and Persian silks. In the second half of the 17th century, Parisian furniture, Louis XVI style, was very much in vogue.
As a gentleman, you might join your host in a deep-colored smoking room. A lady, your hostess would receive you in a light blue salon or tea room. Here, you'd sip imported tea from China while looking out over a beautifully manicured garden. Musical concerts and grand parties were common, and each house had many rooms dedicated to entertaining. For a first-hand glimpse of life inside an opulent canal house, there are two wonderful museums in the area, the Hilvinkenlopenhuis and the Village Hofhausen.
While nobles ruled elsewhere in Europe, here in Amsterdam, it was the self-made merchants. During the 17th century, they were earning as much as 700,000 euros a month. That's more than the average rich person earns today. The wealthiest of the wealthy lived here, on the Herengracht.
Today, almost all of these mansions are used for business, as people can no longer afford to live in them. An exception is the city's mayor, whose official residence is at number 502 Herengracht. Look for the great facade with white columns.
On your right. The next bridge, on your right, you can see the 7 bridges. Please have a look, because it's a very nice view.
Ready? We're about to pass by one of the most photographed views in Amsterdam, the 7 arched bridges over Recolleersgracht, or Recolleers Canal. This beautiful and unique view of all 7 bridges at once can only be seen from here, on waters of the Herengracht. Our kind captain will be slowing down to give everyone a chance to catch a photo of this unique sight.
Celebrated its 375th anniversary, making it one of the oldest in the world. It began as a modest medicinal herb garden and grew substantially during the Golden Age, as Dutch explorers traveled to the East and West Indies and other faraway places. They brought back exotic plants and seeds, including the tulip, the potato, and tobacco, all of which are now considered common. The Botanical Gardens collection has grown to contain thousands of specimens, from the common to the very rare. Nearby, you'll find Wertheim Park, one of Amsterdam's oldest public parks. This picturesque green area is home to the Auschwitz Memorial, a series of broken mirrors. They're positioned to reflect the expansive sky above, symbolizing the broken heaven above Auschwitz.
Freedom of religion, free speech, sexual freedom. All of these are outlawed in parts of the world. We are glad to say that we can take freedom for granted in the Netherlands. Dutch television and radio broadcast frank discussions of drugs, euthanasia, and body functions. No one giggles at nudity.
Of course, Dutch law places a few limits on what we can do. Discrimination, libel, and slander are illegal. So was blasphemy until 2014. Like every society, we Dutch have our taboos and disagreements. But on the whole, we're grateful to have a nation devoted to freedom for all. The Maritime Museum is housed near the old harbor in a very large building that was once the weapon arsenal or warehouse for the Amsterdam admiral. There were originally 2 docks in front of the building for constructing and arming warships of the Dutch Republic with cannons and other weapons. A replica of a trade ship called the Amsterdam is now docked outside the museum, giving insight into just how small and cramped sailing conditions were.
The building was renovated and reopened in 2011. A beautiful domed glass roof was installed over the spacious inner courtyard. The roof is shaped like a compass rose, and during the day you can look up and see lines like those on an old map. After dark, hundreds of tiny LED lights blink on, creating the illusion of a starry night.
The museum is well worth a visit and contains shipping and sailing artifacts and collections of maps, weapons, model ships, as well as paintings of naval officers and dramatic sea battles. The famous Italian architect Renzo Piano designed Nemo as an inverse reflection of the A tunnel, which runs beneath it. The building's height equals the depth of the tunnel. Nemo gets its green color from the oxidated copper that covers its wall.
Ayan yung head office ng Booking.com. Ang laki yung ganda. Booking.com lang yan.
Right of the St. Nicholas Church, you can see our central station, and it had the same architect as the architect of the Rijksmuseum. And a little bit more to the front, you can see our floating Chinese restaurant, which is called Sea Palace. And they used to swim lots of ducks over there.
Ito yung mga bahay yung mga yan. Oh. Yan, bahay yan. Floating houses.
The tower's white spire and clocks were added a century later. They were designed by Hendrik de Keyser, an architect whose work can be seen around Amsterdam, and who you're certain to hear more about on this cruise. The clocks couldn't keep time, and the tower's bells rang out randomly. The locals gave it the nickname Silly Jack.
Not long after the spire and clocks were added, the tower began to list to one side. With some effort, it was pulled to rights. You might be wondering why so many buildings in the city tip to one side or the other. The ground in Amsterdam, a mix of peat, sand, and soil, is very soft. Because of this, buildings were generally designed to be as light as possible. None were very tall, and they often had lots of windows. For stability, they were built on a bed of wooden piles driven as deep as 15 meters, that's 45 feet, into the ground. But if these piles were exposed to the air, they began to rot, and the buildings they supported sank and shifted. Today, water levels in and around the city are carefully controlled to minimize rotting. When new piles are needed, they're made of concrete. Still, you'll see many a house with a sideways tilt.
The Montalbaan-Storen was a place where sailors gathered before setting out to sea. The journeys were long and difficult, and not everyone returned. Legend has it that the women who loved them also came here to say goodbye, perhaps forever.
We are now on the Oudeschaans, or Outer Trench Canal. During the 16th century, it served as a defense canal. All the city's canals serve one or more of these functions, as a transportation route, a line of defense, or a way to manage water levels. The Oceans, because of its size and location, did all of these. Because it was one of the only canals wide enough for large ships to sail, and because of its proximity to the harbor, the Oceans became a convenient place to unload cargo. We're about to pass through one of the city's old locks. The small, tippy black building was once the lockmaster's house. It's now a pub and cafe full of 17th century charm. Stone floors, wooden benches, and exposed ceiling roofs. Its outdoor patio is a great place for watching boats on the canal.
The original Waterloo Plain was an island built in the 17th century to create a space for Jewish settlers. At the time, it was called Fluyenberg, or Flooding Island. Over time, the name morphed into Fluyenberg, or Flea Island, and the bustling market held here was called the Flea Market.
For centuries, Jewish traders sold their wares here. The market continues to operate and is now known as the largest flea market in the Netherlands. Look at the group of very crooked houses. We affectionately refer to them as the dancing houses because they look like they're tilting and swaying to some happy tune. These buildings get their crazy tilts from the wooden piles that are supposed to be holding them up. The more the piles rock, the wilder the houses dance. The outward that you see on so many buildings is another story. It has nothing to do with rotting piles. The facades, or the faces of buildings, were intentionally built this way. In fact, a 16th century law put limits on how far a building could lean forward, lest it topple down.
The Amstel River. The round, white-faced building you see next to the City Hall is the Muziektheater, or Music Theater. It's home to the Dutch Opera, known for its daring productions, the Holland Sinfonia, and the world-renowned Dutch National Ballet. The Dutch may be known for their tolerant attitudes, but they also have strong opinions. This piece of architecture was met with heavy protests that have since simmered down. In fact, that's how it got its name, Stopera. It's derived from the movement against the construction, Stop the Opera.
The Magere Brug, otherwise referred to as the famous Skinny Bridge, stretches all the way across the Amstel River. Of Amsterdam's 1,500 or so bridges, this is the most famous. It dates back to the 17th century and was likely a narrow footbridge. Since then, it's been reconstructed more than once and grown wider with age. Legend has it that whoever you kiss while passing under the bridge will be your true love for life.
Would you like to stay in the same luxury hotel as Lady Gaga and Mick Jagger? Look for a large, elegant building with a gabled roof ornament and a glass-topped pavilion in front. That's the Amstel Hotel, where a honeymoon suite rents for 3,750 to 6,000 euros a night. This was the first building in Amsterdam with electric power when it was built in 1868.
The city's many canals are still used for transportation and for managing water levels. And they also have a new function, as a place to live. Amsterdam always seems to be short on housing, and during a real crunch in the 1960s and 70s, houseboats appeared as cheap places to live. The city now has around 2,500 of them. Some are old converted sailing vessels. Others are simply homes set on floating pads. As for cheap, not anymore. Houseboats are now connected to gas, water, electricity, and municipal sewage. And owners have to pay taxes, just like anyone else.
That's the Heineken Brewery. Ayan, yung building na yan. Ay, natakpan. Ayan o. Eto, ayan. Saan nakita? Ayan, Heineken Brewery yan. Ayun yung pangalan, may puno kasi. Ayun o, Heineken. Wala na, may tulay na. Ay, ang ganda nito mga friend ko. Ang ganda diba? Ayan, ganyan yung canal tour natin kanina. So, ganyan tayo nakasakay. Ayan, sila naman ngayon nandyan. So, tapos na tayo sa canal tour and gusto na ni Sir ng beer. So, muna tayo dito sa headquarters ng Heineken. Alam ko, meron din silang parang museum. Pero titignan natin kung meron silang pub kung saan siya makakainom ng beer dahil uhaw na siya sa beer. Ayan, welcome to the home of Heineken. Let's see what's inside. Tingnan nyo, bote ng Heineken, lahat yan. Magsha-shop si Sir mo. What are we gonna buy? Just window shopping. Oh, hi! That's me! Ang dami palang product ng Heineken. Meron silang luggage din. Ayan. Water and salt. Ang galing! Sa baba may bar. Oh, ayan But I'm not sure. Baka may entrance.
The people who take the tour.
Yeah, for the tour ata to. Dito naman yung mga baso ng Heineken talaga mismo. Beer glasses. Uy, ang galing. Nilagay ko lang dyan. Tapos nag-scan na siya. Ayan, diba? Ang galing. Ano kaya? So, babayad muna tayo. Papabalot muna natin siya. Ayan. So, nakapagbayad na ako.
Hi.
Nabayan na paggastos pa si Cheysanity. Pero okay lang. Let's go. Kaya ang galing para ka nasa loob ng isang tangke ng beer. Tapos, take a look in our Heineken Create. Personalize. Pwede ka magpa-personalize ng Heineken mo. Ayun Grabe, for the walk talaga kami. So 2 kilometers, muna tayo sa may city center ulit para mag-try nung rice kasi hindi ko na-enjoy yung rice nung last time kasi nga dry cheese lang yung nilagay. Hindi ko na ganun pa rin yung cheese nila. Shredded cheese, diba? Nalagay nyo ba? Yung nasa ating episode. So yun, tapos gusto rin uminom ni Sir. So kaya mag-beer. So lakad tayo doon para mas bongga. Yan, 1,000 steps na naman tayo. Bakit 20,000 steps na naman tayo for today's episode? Ayan na, dito na tayo sa Heineken Bar. Hindi pala, Bar Regular and Jack Amsterdam. Ay! Okay, ito na yung beer natin. Ang akin ay Sweet Cider Apple Beer. Sarap niya, ang tamis. Yours, babe, what's yours?
Heineken.
Heineken. Yung cute ng bar. Tinan nyo, Mura tayong CR. May restroom, isa pa daw. Sa taas pa. Kahoy talaga siya, girl. Diba? Medyo nakakatakot siya. Tara. Okay, nasa labas ulit tayo. Pupunta na tayo dun sa Clam Fritz. Yung french fries na sikat. Uy, umaambon. Basta kakadagdag sa lamig, nakakaloka. Hindi talaga kami naglalabas ng payong, patigasan talaga. Umaambon siya, mga ready ko. Pero okay lang yan. Enjoy natin tong lamig kasi pagbalik na naman ng Pilipinas, 32 degrees na naman tayo dyan. Ngayon umuulan, 15 degrees. So, ang lamig, girl. Dito pala tayo sa Calverstraat. Dito yung Pandora kahapon. Saka yung Lego. Dito yun, sa street na to. So, doon kami dapat sa Damrak bibili. Pero ito, Marsh and Co. May sign sila. Parang hindi na tayo lumayo, Meron sila dito, Flamse Frit. Ito, mas mura pa. Right? Ayan, tara. Ayun, ang dami ulo. Ayan, Oh, babe, it's delicious sauce. Bacon. Or cheesy and bacon, babe. Okay, let's go. Kuya, sobrang sarap. Di ko na na-videohan. Sarap truffle. Uy, 6:32 na, pero yung araw, parang alas 3 pa. Parang alas 3 pa rin yung araw. So, maglalakad na tayo papunta dun sa restaurant, sa Italian restaurant, para mag-dinner kasi nga 6:32 na. Pero feeling ko hapon pa rin. Ayun, tara na. Ang ganda dito! Oh my God! We're back sa Dam Square! Ang ganda! Ang ganda niya sa umaga, diba? Ang daming kalapati, Ay, namimigay siya ng free food. Ang saya, Ay, ang dami nila. Oh my gosh. So, nakapag-video na ako ng TikTok dyan sa kalabas. Rentas na Royal Palace. Kaso nga lang, renovation yung taas. Tsaka itong Neue Kerk or New Church. Ang ganda ng mall. Tingnan nyo naman, oh. Magna Plaza Mall sa likod ng Royal Palace. Look at that. Oh, diba? Ay, yung sinasabi sa tour kahapon, no? Pero yung mga buildings, hindi sila pantay-pantay ng mga tabing eh. Kasi nga, yung pinagtatayuan niya, yung foundation, lalo na yun, no? Is suit, or ano ba yun? Parang puti itong mabigat yung mga buildings for them. And para matayo sila, may mga wooden sticks. Basta may mga tinusok na mga kahoy para makapagtayo ng foundation. Pero over time, nabubulok yung mga kahoy. Kaya tumatabing yung mga building. Ayan, no? Tignan nyo guys, so may mga hook yung mga taas ng building. Ayan. Kasi ito yung mga guild houses dati. So, meaning, isa yan sa mga building dati ng mga warehouse, ganyan. So, yung mga pulley yan dati. So, yun yung sinuunang crane. They use that para i-carry yung mga goods nila papunta sa taas ng mga floor. Ayan, hanggang ngayon nandyan pa rin sila. So we are here at Capore Italiano, isang Italian restaurant. Kasi bet ni Sir yung Italian restaurant. Bet ko rin naman ng pasta, so let's go. Ordering ko ito. Tagliatelle. Ano ba? Paano ba pronounce niya? Tagliatelle? Tagliatelle? Charas. With salmon and green asparagus and cream sauce. Ayan. Oh, hindi ko kinakaya 450 pesos na itong mga Mars para daw siyang sakto na bote. Ayun, 450 pesos.
White gold.
Thank you. Ito na yung order natin, guys. 1,400 lang naman itong isang plate na ito. Good appetit! Okay, naglalakad na tayo pa uwi ng hotel. It's 8 p.m. Kung kakalubog lang ng araw. And mas bumaba pa yung temperature. Ano yan? Pangalan daw niya. Mas bumaba pa yung temperature at 13 degrees. Oh my gosh. Alam mo girl. Ganyan na suot natin at 13 degrees. Ano? Bilang Emily in Paris. Charis. Inabutan naman tayo ng gabi. Ang ganda-ganda talaga ng Amsterdam sa gabi. You guys, so... Ay! Ayan yung mga erotic shop.
Ja, receptos.
Kasabay may ice cream. Ay, may Kama Sutra, Indian. And then you have your souvenir shop here. Party pills. Nagka-colorful ang mga shops dito eh. Ayan, mga smoke shop. May sex shop pa dito. Tapos ito, burgers. Diyan na sa kabila yung hotel natin. Lapit na tayo. And we are so back na sa hotel, ladies and gentlemen. Ay, grabe yung pagod ko, but it has been an amazing day, mga Veronica. Ayun na, let's call it a day. Under natin ang vlog. Thank you so much sa pagsama sa amin today sa Canal tour. Alright. Grabe pag-uusap ko. Wala na ako masasabi pa kundi thank you so much for watching. This has been Cheysanity. Bye-bye.